Hello, welcome. It's another episode of your favorite program, the newspaper review here on Tab TV. If you haven't been watching this show, I wonder what you have been doing. I'm sure you have missed a lot. This is where we bring you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. Yes, we get to analyze them here on the program, and as the headline breaks, we'll bring it here live to you. So do well to also be a part of this. Drop your comments, your reactions. We want to see or hear what you think about these headlines right here on this program as we go through the headlines together with you. So do well to subscribe. If this is your first time, go ahead, subscribe, turn on the notification. It helps you get notified whenever we come up with new episodes of the newspaper review here. And don't worry, we have other interesting programs lined up for you also here on Top TV. So don't go anywhere, subscribe and stay here. Connect with us on all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on Twitter. So look out for those handles right below the screen as we continue with our program today. And with me here on the program is Victor Sioko.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
He's the usual suspect every other time here on the program.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I missed the show, but good to be back. And you too.
I'm same here.
Yeah, we took a break, traveled, but we're all back for you right here on the program. And we'll continue to do what we do best here on the program. So don't forget to also join us. Drop your comments. Let's hear from you. All right, today's newspaper headlines will begin with Vanguard newspaper for today, the 28th day in the month of July. All right, let's move on to the big story here on Vanguard newspaper. And that is Ministerial list, 11 states to wait as Tinubu sends 28 nominees to Senate for confirmation. Senate President receives list of 28 nominees from Femi Gbajabiamila. Names of other nominees will come later, says Gbajabiamila, as Wike, Omahi, El Rufai, Alake, Momo, Fagbemi, Pate, John Eno. Others make list. Senate suspends holiday, begins screening Monday, says screening will be thorough to look at experience, character, personality, order. Why Tinubu didn't attach portfolio to ministerial nominees list presidency, says nominees comprises technocrats, politicians, hints on restructuring of ministries. You find details of all of the stories on page 5. And of course, you can see the pictures of some of the ministerial nominees. You can see the picture of Wale Edu, Mohammed Idris, Bella Edu, Yesom Wike, the elephant or the lion of the south. He made it to the list. We also see Dele Alake there, Nkiru, Onyejiocha, and all of that. So get details of that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And in sports here, we see Women's World Cup. Super Falcons shock Australia in 5-goal thriller. Right, we find details on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. That's all the headline we'll be taking on from the Vanguard. Let's get into some of these details, beginning with the women's sport. I was really happy and impressed because a lot of people expressed fears that they may not make it through the first round. But they are one of the top 10 contenders at this point in time, and they're really looking really good. What do you think about their future?
Yeah, I was so impressed. One, knowing that they beat the hosting country.
Yeah.
Yes, it's being co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. And also, they made the mark, or a player of them made a mark. That's Oshoala.
Yes.
Man, I don't know whether I'm mentioning the name rightly, but
That's Oshoala, yeah.
She was able to be the first Nigerian to have scored in 3 World Cups consecutively. So that's so much kudos for her out there. And it's looking promising for the team, beating Australia. And in fact, they played the game so well that Australia, well, I say they were more like lucky to even score that second goal. Nigeria dominated the game in a long stretch, and that was just so good.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. They look highly motivated, and just like the president predicted, they might really make it all the way, and we are rooting for them. All right, let's move on to the main story we want to talk about, and that will be the ministerial list and the names that made it to the list. One of the names that have really brought a lot of reaction and shock to Nigerians is that of former River State Governor Nyesom Wike. A lot of Nigerians are in big shock. Like, it's almost like the first time this is ever happening, where you have someone from another party making it to the ministerial list of a ruling party. I mean, people are wondering on what grounds did he get there? What has really happened? What kind of list is this and all of that? And then come to think of it, people that were expected to make it to the very top 20, as it were, people like Barrister, what's his name, Festus Keyamo, isn't there yet, Sam, isn't there yet, and they're waiting for all the other names that were all over the place. What do you think has really happened, and what do you think about this list?
Okay, if you say, if I can start with Nyesom Wike is all over the place. That the video that he made about not wanting to become a minister. He said
he wants to rest,
that he's not going to become a minister. And that was even after the PDP issues that happened. Okay, then we also now got the video where he also mentioned that how can he leave malaria, okay, for stage 4 cancer, meaning the APC is stage 4 cancer, PDP, we are just having malaria. Okay, well, there's one thing about all these, it tells you that Nigerian politicians will never cease to become Nigerian politicians. Where their words cannot be their receipts. Their words cannot be... See, insane crimes, we no get shame for this country.
Yes, of course.
And even come to think of it, why would the PDP not have suspended Wike even up till now?
That he has gone ahead to become a minister in an APC-run government. And it's a wonder, like this. My head, I still can't wrap it around my head. How did this happen? We know that, yes, it looks as though on the ground he has been working for the APC, even though he has failed to admit that. He said he only supported, the South presidency, that he didn't deliberately work for the APC. But then, I mean, we know that becoming a minister in an APC-run government, it will not just happen. It will not just happen. It's not a role. You're not the APC man from River State. They have APC stalwarts from River State. None of those people made it to the list. You, a PDP kingmaker, a PDP staunch man, made it there. So could it be that there was some lobbying on the ground or something?
It was more like agreement is agreement, if you ask me.
Okay.
Okay, and I also need to put out this. I've talked about the PDP. I also need to talk about the APC. APC is a structure, is an institution.
Yeah.
I wouldn't also be looking at them while they are watching another party member joining them without even
no
documentation.
Like there's no official joining. He's still a member of the PDP. He has not resigned.
So, but how would you as a party also want somebody from another party, your opposition party, to come and join your inner cabinet? Becoming a minister is not a joke.
Over the workings of the rest of you.
You will know whatever is happening inside the kitchen of the president. So you on your own as the APC guy, you are allowing somebody that's from another party to come and know what you guys are doing. Are you getting that side of the story? So, well, it will be worrisome for persons like Magnus Ngeabe at this time because...
Oh, yeah, that's what I said earlier. Wike is not... He didn't openly said or campaign for the APC at any point in time. People living in River State only experienced or only saw that he was supporting Tinubu during the elections when he, pushed his guys to say you must vote for the APC and all of that by force or by any means. People only saw that. But people like Magnus openly campaigned for Tinubu. But here we are, Magnus...
From another party.
Yes, from another party.
My brother, we've bastardized politics. So.
There's no... right from time, we've always said that Nigerian political parties, they don't work with any, core ideas or anything or theories or anything.
Ideologies, nothing.
They're just moving. They're just there to have them, like to represent different houses that are, contesting for something. They don't work with ideologies because if that were the case, a lot of the nonsense we see will not be happening. I mean, this is the first time since my birth as a human being seeing this where I've not seen it anywhere.
Nigeria breaking the bad records.
I've not seen it before. And this one is even a big shocker for me because if at this point in time we heard that Wike has moved to the APC, that would have been a different thing. We say, okay, yeah, this was a plan, so he has finally moved. He's still a member of the PDP. And the PDP is silent about this. It's some people in the APC that are grumbling and saying stuff like, oh, they are rewarding vultures and snakes and all of that. But then, what are they doing about it?
Then how would somebody like Onyeko be feeling right now? I don't understand.
And you know, with this move, do we foresee somebody like Wike becoming the leader of the APC in Rivers State?
Sure. Becoming the minister in Rivers State means that you are the #1 ranked APC person in the state. That's what it means.
So once he moves officially, that is, once he moves officially, he's now the leader.
Just like Amechi was the leader when he was a minister. That's a top position for somebody in the state. If you're not a governor, the next level they are looking at is the minister.
But that's strange. That would be funny though, because he has his boys, he has his loyalists, hundreds of thousands of them still in the PDP. How does that play out for this man?
A confusing state. But you know, in Nigerian politics, like I said, many things can happen. Okay? You can come out today now and they will twist the whole law and give it to you that way.
As far as it suits these politicians, they're ready to keep churning and trying to make us look stupid. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And the one that worries me the most is the fact that the PDP is just silent. So the question is, what position or what has Wike done in the party, or what does he hold, or what is he really holding in the PDP that is making them so handicapped about
the PDP? They don't want to lose relevance here because they feel that their seats, the seats in the state might be lost. Okay,
or like the governorship,
and all of them. The 3 senatorial zones are being headed by PDP guys. So what then happens? Will their name just die off? How will they manage the situation? But see, you are already seeing that this particular principle, is going against your constitution. That is the issues that we are having with this country too. You have a constitution, you have a guideline on how to live your life, but you are not following them. As a party, you have a guideline that is saying, okay, the guideline is stating that, okay, this is how we are going to run our party. You are seeing the letters, the spirit of that guideline, but you are ignoring them. That is the issue we are having everywhere in the country. People don't care about the rules of the game.
So much for Nyesom Wike that believes in following party regulations in total. But now he's breaking everything, and it doesn't really matter. I'm sure he would respond to this kind of statement I just made with the story of they are the first people to break the law in the party. So why am I to defend it? Let's continue to scatter the laws of the party. I'm sure he will respond in that manner, but then it's quite a wonder.
Yeah, but down to the list. I know this list we cannot talk about everything in the list. There's a whole lot of information to gather from there. But somebody like Dele Alake, for him to, that is a plus for him, a step up in position for them to move him from SA to being a minister.
And possible Minister of Information.
100. 100. That's my prediction too. Then, okay, some people be like, oh, what about Nyesom Wike? What kind of portfolio? There are a lot to talk about this because...
No, but let's not take away the fact that Wike is quite a force to deal with. He's a strong man. He's a worker. He's a hard worker. As a governor for 8 years, he's the first governor that I saw that didn't relax for the 8 years. First 4 years, he kept working. Next 4 years, he worked till the very last day he left the office. So let's not take away the fact that the man, aside being a very controversial person, he knows his onions and he's working. So I give that to him. So being a minister, whatever portfolio that is being handed to him, I believe that that ministry is going to feel his impact. So yes, that is there, but it's just the controversy behind how he's getting this position. That's what we're talking about. But aside that, he's a hard worker, and I believe that he's going to deliver.
So for the predictions, it's unfortunate that the president has left out in this position of predicting. Because in a normal, you ask, why wouldn't you put out those portfolios on these people's heads?
What's the mystery behind it? Why hide it?
Now, how will they now be this country?
How will they be really interviewed?
Yes, by the Senate.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
So on what? Okay, so if
On what
Ike
experience,
appears,
on what papers or capabilities do you have to run this particular position? That is what we should be talking about. These persons, these ministers in quotes, are supposed to come out to defend the portfolio that they are going to run.
Yeah.
So will you now bring them out, which is the normal thing that has been happening? Yes, one will be
And
like,
tell them
okay,
take a bow.
oh, come on.
It's
Yes,
beginning to look like that, though. If we
what
don't
are
have
you going to
portfolios-
ask somebody like the governor of Kaduna State? Are you going to tell him to step down? I don't know. Are you getting me? It's so easy. Do we really even want to go forward in this country?
But Victor, have you ever seen any ministerial nominee go before the Senate and they tell him, no, this one will not go through? I don't know. I can't remember. They've asked some people to hold on, but I've never heard where they said his name cannot go through anymore. Once the president delivers or submits your name, that's it. So it's almost like as though these people, once they go appear before the Senate, they'll be asked to take a bow. But critical issues like going through their past records in terms of checking their criminal records, financial misappropriations, a lot of things to really look out for. A capacity to handle the positions that they're being given to. What have you been able to deliver in the past? And what do you think, what are your plans for the position that you're taking? All those questions are critical questions that we Nigerians need to hear them respond to. But hardly you see those kind of screening go down. So, I mean, a lot needs to change. Tinubu's government appear as though they want to change most of these things, but with this kind of, list that is flying all around the place and the way it has been, given out, we don't know if we're going to see that kind of screening, though.
Yeah. And lastly, if you can give me that time, about persons on the list, for the fact that Tinubu was able to bring us 7 women, it's big kudos.
And then with one of them being pretty young, talking about Betta, a dude from Cross River State. Yes,
controversial too.
Very, very controversial. When I first saw that name and the face, I was like, whoa, who is this? So I've never heard the name before, so I Googled her. Impressive.
Did you watch the video where she was sharing dollars?
No, I haven't seen. Oh, she's the lady.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
$500.
Now you begin to see how some of these people made it there. They had to lobby their way with every means possible. And I worry when we begin to see things like this, because you begin to wonder, what are they really going to be doing when they become ministers? Are they only going to work a little and recover all the money they spent getting there? So these are some of the things we need to change.
Oh, come on. You just reminded me of the female presidential candidate of the APC. What's her name? Is it Joy, or what's her name again? I can't remember. A lawyer that called Tinubu my daddy when she came out to tell her manifesto. You know, now that night that people were dropping down on the campaign, on the convention night, that she stepped aside and said, I'm supporting my daddy. Now, you made mention of people trying to recover their money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, she has her good side, good track records and all that. But in terms of recuperating their money back, it could still be through these means. This is Nigeria. Let's not shy away that we are not in this country.
She made it to the list.
Yes. For the fact that she paid that 100, oh my, that is a lot to talk about.
Yes.
100 million naira for the party ticket, presidential party ticket. That even there's another back news that when they gathered all these monies, the monies they were not able to recover, get those monies back because that the chairman of the party looted those funds, which also cost his head. But what about Nkiruka? Nkiruka is a fighter. Yeah. Okay, Nkiruka from my in-laws' place, Abia, from Isukwato zone. Okay, she's a fighter, no two ways about her. Mind you, she was formerly in the PDP. She lost her ticket back in the days, is it 2015? No, come on, she did 4 times. She did 4 times as Federal House of Representatives. Okay, and she lost this time around. Yeah. And people are also beginning to say, okay, is it that Tinubu is using this position to settle some persons out there? Okay, because we still have some persons like the Enugu guy that lost to Mba, the APC Buba candidate that lost to Mba.
Yeah.
He also made this list. Mr. Bule, a whole lot to talk about. What about Ebonyi State Governor Umahi?
Yeah.
For me, Umahi is a great guy because the way that man transformed Ebonyi State
he's also
is something that is so
worker,
he will make a good team. He will make part of this team to be good in the eyes and also maybe in the works.
Like if it gets,
I just wish,
if it gets
how can he get works? If he
can get works,
he can even what about trade? Because that man invested so much in trade in their, over there in
that's
Ebonyi
another
State.
governor that really didn't sleep on the bicycle.
But what about Nasiri El-Rufai? Controversial.
Oh yeah, another
what about
controversial
Baduru?
governor? Yeah.
Oh my God. But well, we'll give it up for them. What about Wale Edun, financial analyst, financial mogul?
Yes.
Come on.
You know, quite an interesting ministerial list, and we will not also take away the fact that these guys are technocrats, and you know, they have capacities in their own rights to really deliver. We know that we have a little bit of doubt in some of the names we saw there, but then let's believe that with the vision that Tinubu carries, they will be able to run with it. We know that of Wike, he's going to deliver quite all right. We know a few names there that will deliver. So, but then we're hoping that all of these people will join in getting Nigeria out of this deep hole that we're in. And let's begin to see the light of the day once again. Well, let's move away from that story. We're going next to the This Day newspaper for today, the 28th day in the month of July, 2023. And on this day, we have a headline here. Court throws out DSS application for extension of Emefiele's incarceration by another 14 days. So one would ask, what exactly is the reason why the DSS is so keen on arresting Emefiele again? What is behind it? After all, the charges they leveled against him is illegal possession of arms. Not, let's remove the S. One Beretta gun. But is there something we don't know about? Or is it a possible threat?
No, I think that they are using this to pass time while they are running their investigation from the back.
Because they don't want him to escape and run away.
Maybe. And also, they are also buying time to make sure that they have investigated properly with respect to fraud or financial crimes, okay, before they're coming out. So that's why I think they just, mind you, what then happened, after they have arrested him, they went to his house and said they found this gun. Does it make sense?
And then again, it's making me feel as though the DSS, the capacity of the DSS is being undermined in this thing. Why are they making it look like Emefiele is just, I don't know if he's a possible threat as they say. I mean, they should keep him under watch now. They can seize his passport, make sure he doesn't leave the country in the next 1 year while they investigate him. But the man shouldn't be in their custody, except there is something more than what Nigerians know. So allow the man to go on bail, withhold his passport, keep him on watch list. He cannot leave. It has happened before.
It's not even, you just mentioned about passport, it's not even in their right to hold, because it is the judge that will say, okay, this is how I want.
So why don't they get a court order to do that?
Obey what is
but the guy cannot be under your custody anymore, because the crime that you're charging him for is not enough to keep him. So why? I mean, and I hate.
And he's been granted bail.
He's been granted bail. So I hate the fact that we have these institutions that make these laws and then blatantly disobey them before the public eye every day. It's funny how laws are meant for some people, and for some other people it means nothing. It's not really.
So what are the consequences? That's the issue now. By now we should be hearing that, okay, somebody has been summoned, somebody
for that disgraceful act that took place in front of the court. I mean, I felt so embarrassed watching that video.
But what did they say, that they are carrying out investigation?
No, even let's even assume that were the case. Are we in some kind of animal kingdom where things has to be handled the way we saw it being handled, where junior officers like we saw will act the way they act against themselves, the same security agencies? So why can't we obey what the rule of, what is the law or saying constitutionally about situations like this? Nobody wants to find out. Nobody wants to obey that. We just act like animals. So, well, I hope that this case is really resolved. And let's, for once, let's start to obey court orders in this country. I don't get it. The president will disobey it. Politicians will disobey it. The police people, everybody disobeys. So why is the court there? If we continue like this, it means that there's no law. Things will continue to go really crazy. All right, we move on to other stories still on this day newspaper. We see here, interesting one. It says Nigeria demands release of Bazoum, return to status quo. That's on page 8 of this day newspaper. Now to the main story is the same as the Vanguard. We're talking about the ministerial list. It says here, 2 months after Tinubu sends 28 ministerial nominees to Senate. All right. We also see pictures of some of those ministerial nominees right here. Now, on this paper, we have about 20 of them listed here. So go ahead and get a copy of this day newspaper to read up the full story concerning the ministers. All right, let's go to this story that caught my attention, that of Niger. The president of Niger is still in captivity by the military. Thank God he has not been killed in this very terrible coup that took place in Niger. And a lot of people are reacting. The world in question is reacting, and they're wondering about how this is going to impact the security architecture of Nigeria. And now Nigeria is demanding that he should be released and things should return back to status quo. Do you see that happening anytime soon?
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening because the way and manner they are going about this is looking like bloodshed might happen, okay? Because this time around, this particular, it is more like the presidential guards that captured him, okay, that organized this coup. And we were waiting to hear from their army, okay? The army now released a statement. They were supporting the presidential guards. Okay, so it is now either he should just give up or there will be bloodshed. So the people out there already even are protesting that the Russian, that's the Wagner group, are for them. Okay, going against the French troops. The French has a stronghold in Niger. But now, we were thinking that Niger has passed this level of coup that just has happened since 2020. We've had up to 5 coups just within that West African region.
Yes.
Beat Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, and Gambia. Now this, number 5. You now begin to wonder, because in 2021 was when Bazoum was elected as president. And Mr. Abule, that was the most peaceful election that Niger have ever had since 1960 during their independence. It's been turmoil and turmoil. And when this crisis happened, that is why, when this crisis happened within time, how will you develop your country? That is why people over there are suffering, because there is very unstable political system in Niger. Right now, I don't think that there is a hope coming anywhere than for him to just, yes, he also released a statement yesterday to say that he is on ground, but man, the weight is too much on him. When your military is now backing the presidential or the coup plotters, okay, what then are you left with?
What powers do you have left to actually give a fight back? And then, of course, I'm sure he's hoping for intervention from the West African leaders. Nigeria has been speaking against it. And Nigeria is one of those countries that should be of great concern to this matter, because you know where the state of our economy is, the state of our country is. And for me, personally, it scares me once I heard this news, I was worried, because I mean, a lot of people have also predicted this for Nigeria, saying that with the way these politicians are handling this country, one day the military will rise up and say, guys, step aside. But we're hoping that it doesn't get to that point. And it should be a cause of worry for Nigeria as a nation. And we should really speak against this, because we don't want to see the military back in power. Democracy in any standard, whether bad or worse. Is way better than a military regime, if you ask me. People will say, oh, Nigeria is not any better than when Abacha and the rest of them were in power. But how about your freedom? How much freedom did you have that time? You were, pushed around like zombies and all of that. So, and democracy brings a lot more freedom of expression, of doing business, and a lot more ease. So, Nigeria should be worried. And I'm sure that Nigeria is looking up to countries like Nigeria, Ghana, and the rest of them to step in and say, okay, how can we resolve this? They've seen it happen before where Nigeria say, okay, Seychelles was a good example. And Nigerians went back and reinstalled the then president when he was ousted. But we don't know how this is going to play out, but we are hoping that it really favors democracy, and we don't want to see this kind of situation happen around us. And again, analysts have also predicted that this is going to change the security architecture of Nigeria and of course the entire West African region, and that will not be good for business, for trade, and all of that. Just take, for instance, we hear from the newspaper headlines that an airliner of ours, that's is a Max Air or so, is stranded still in Niger up to this time. And I'm sure I can imagine how, pensive these guys are, how scared they must have been, stuck there in the midst of this kind of, although reports say that the streets of Niger is calm and all of that, but we don't know how this could, play out. It could spiral into something really beyond control, and we're hoping that it doesn't really get to that. All right, let's move on to our next paper, but before that, we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, you're welcome back from that very short break, and thank you so much for staying with us right here on the Newspaper Review. We're still taking newspaper headlines, and we're about to hit our last paper for the day, and that will be The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper for today, the 28th day in the month of July 2023. And the headlines here read, summer travel and inflation, overpriced airfares, 795 naira per dollar. Exchange rate for closed holiday trips for average Nigerians. All right, you find that story on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. We also see here, DSS silent over alleged arrest of former aviation minister Sirika. Page 3 is where you get details of that story. Strike notice, NLC in contempt of court, federal government declares. Page 3 is where you find details of that story. We also see here, police re-strategize as IPOP declares 2 weeks sit at home in Southeast. Page 29 is where that story is. Renewed hope ministers, 11 states await nominations amid intrigues, lobbying. Find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. You do well to pick up a copy of the Guardian and read up the stories. We've spent a lot of time on this program, so we're just going to take a very quick review of this last headline, and of course we'll call it a day. And that story will be overpriced airfares. Dollar now 795 naira to a dollar, and this is affecting a lot of airfares. What's your take on that story?
This is actually a time for families to travel because of the long vacation.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in Nigeria, Nigerians have not even paid the last school fees. Okay, talk more of traveling, then we're not thinking about to pay the next school fees. Okay, so it's a tough time. Tough time that back in the days you get 1 million naira, you have 1 million naira in your account, and you'll be like, okay, I have about $3,000 in my account.
Yeah, you can
okay,
go on
and
holiday.
maybe I can go on holiday. Okay, but right now, it's a difficult thing for, if you say the average Nigeria, the rich Nigeria, or the formerly rich Nigeria.
That have now crossed over. Because yes, some people thought they were rich until things started changing with the speed of light, and now they see that they can't really place themselves. They can't say we're rich, they can't say we're extremely poor. But that should not make you think that there's a middle class. There's no middle class in Nigeria anymore. We now have the rich and the poor. So if you know you cannot really afford some of the things you used to do before, And now amongst the poor. Don't be in shock. That's how it is. So work a bit harder. You probably would make it, back into being the rich. But at this time, it's a tough time for Nigerians every day. And, there's also been some predictions about the current fuel price that's going to go up again because of the very inconsistent rates that we're seeing in the dollar price compared to the naira. So a lot is going on at this time. And so if your neighbor that travels every summer holiday is not doing it this year, please don't cuss on him. It's really tough. It's a tough time for Nigerians. All right, Victor, I want to thank you so much for making it to the program.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, thank you for staying with us up to this time right here on the News Super Review. I'm afraid that's all we can take today on the program. Do well to join us again next time. And don't forget to connect with us on all our social media handles. We'd love to have you on this platform. Until next time I come away again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the News Super Review here on Top TV.